Welcome back to the Fit Family Podcast, take 2, because we literally just recorded this episode, and then in my all-knowing way, I just deleted it.
So we literally recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole
I
thing,
just
and
want
then it was
everyone to know.
deleted.
Yeah.
Danny's ecstatic because this is the first tech botch up that I've had in a while, and typically it's her going, Ben, what's happened?
I like how you've turned this into a bagging Danny session
It's always
when
a
you
bagging
deleted the
I
podcast.
deleted the podcast and I couldn't get it back, so I've calmed down, we've blown off some steam, and we are going again.
I've made another cup of tea.
Another cup of tea. So, after a couple of weeks hiatus, we've been basically we've been working really hard, haven't we? We've been doing some stuff.
We have. I'm so excited.
Yes, we are. So I will just tease the fact that there are going to be some big changes to the way that we operate and the way that we coach our clients, and that's all going to be revealed in good time because we haven't finalized all of it yet. But as always, you guys, our clients will be the first to know, and those of you who are, I guess having a bit of a look-see over I'm like, oh, what are they doing over there? Well, we are making changes to make your life easier. That's basically it. If there's anything we can do to, improve the systems, the coaching, the journey for you guys, then that is what we are going to do because life's hard and your health and fitness should support your life and it shouldn't be something that makes it harder. So we always try and keep that lens when looking to include things or looking to build things for you guys to make it easier. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, spot on. We're always looking for efficiencies because your health and well-being is a life game. Like it's forever. So it's not something that you can just plug in for 30 minutes.
Yeah, switch on and turn off.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to constantly have that in the back of our minds that we need to stay up to date so we can deliver the most effective way we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's what we've been working on, and all will be revealed soon. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, speaking of the game of life, you're training at the moment. You cycled on what was it called? Cycle for Change.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
2 months ago. You've been on the bike how many times since?
Once.
So, yes, it was not false advertising that she truly does hate cycling, guys. That was about as real as the hair on my chinny chin chin. Which still, to this day, makes that goal just the most extraordinary one we've had in the house for a while. But anyway, you got through it and you did it. We don't need to hash over old ground. But what have you been doing lately with your training? And in particular, actually, you wanted to talk about just maintenance and a healthy lifestyle because everyone keeps asking you what you're doing and what you're doing next.
True. That is always hot topic. Whenever I have a conversation with someone, they're always asking me what I am training for next. And I said to Ben on our run today, I'm training for life. It is so important just to maintain good health. I just want to be strong, fit and healthy so I can keep up with our kids. And, we've recently had a bout of illness in our house with poor little Mia. Being able to operate, being able to look after her and still look after everyone else and train myself without having that pressure of training for something all the time.
Yeah.
I think it is good for people to realise the need for recovery. So I haven't stopped training, but what I have done is I have manipulated it a lot so I can get a little bit of a rest in.
Yeah.
And plus, speaking of training, you're doing quite a large endurance event at the moment.
Yeah.
And we could never do 2 of those in the same household at the same time.
No, God, the time is a killer. Like just before we leave that training for life as a topic, I do want to say, so there's what would you call him, a coach? I think he's actually a doctor, but Peter Attia, who's one of the leading minds in longevity and health and, ways to just improve your quality of life. So that's sort of his thing, and he's a beast at it. He has this line, which is, at some stage you'll enter your final decade, and the way you live that final decade is largely due to your lifestyle up to that point. And it was something that resonated with me because I was like, okay, that's true. Yes, at some stage I'll be in my final decade. I won't know when that is, obviously. And yeah, I want to be as well and able for as long as possible. And that, fitness for life. And I know that, we're PTs and we're talking about goals and what do you want to do next and what do you want to do that. It's like that underlying principle is I just want to have a better quality of life. And however that looks for the person, typically it means you're mobile, you're flexible, you're strong, you're lean to the point where you're not at risk of disease and metabolic disease. So as long as you keep those goals as kind of the umbrella for which everything else can kind of fall in under, it gives you a little bit of a guiding principle to your lifestyle and the way you want to live your life.
Yeah, and if we just think about, while we've had some, extreme endurance goals, I guess.
Ugh, drainer goals.
I think the general perception, not conception, jeez. Like people they think endurance athletes, they think healthy.
Oh God, it's the furthest thing from it.
And that is so far from the truth.
Yeah.
Endurance, like sports nutrition, we've spoken about this multiple times, compared to, just eating to be well and healthy is very, 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 very different.
I've eaten more lollies in the past 12 weeks than I had in the past 5 years.
Yeah. So like processed carbohydrates become really, really important for people that are training for extended periods of time. Mm-hmm. And that's not our overall goal. Occasionally we do have a goal like that and we manipulate our diet and lifestyle for that. But to think that's healthy long term, you're very mistaken.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So speaking of training for a really long time, so I've got a 100 kilometer ultra marathon coming up. So it's on the 13th of September. I've been training for that already for the past 3 months, like properly. And we're about 8 weeks out, or a little bit less now, 7 weeks out from that now. And yeah, as you say, like not only the time that it takes to train for something like this, which I'm so sick of losing Saturday mornings. So like I used to love it when, and you used to laugh when you're up and out of the house early on a Saturday morning and like kids would be watching Lilo and Stitch or whatever after having brekkie, and I just have a coffee and go out into the gym and just have myself a good old time and come in and cook some brekkie and be like, all right, kids, let's get dressed. It was like the best way to start the weekend ever.
Can we give the people some insight into our household? Ben is the laziest fit person you will ever meet in your life.
That's not
Given
true.
the opportunity, he will be last out of bed in this house. He does not have to go to work.
It's actually for my recovery. So, yeah.
He loves if I'm training for something and I'm out of the house, because that means he just stays in bed until the kids...
You know what? If we're airing dirty laundry, you're a hypocrite.
So much that he's forced to get out of bed to get him breakfast. Yeah,
they're like, Dad, can we get up now? And I'm like, 5 more minutes. Yeah, it's very much like that. But the impact, and we spoke about this on the last podcast that I deleted so we can touch on it again. It's the impact that these events and that these goals have on your lifestyle is not to be underestimated. Like, I think sometimes people can launch into goals based on a moment of inspiration or emotion. And, there's nothing wrong with like there's nothing wrong with seeing someone who, you might be able to relate to or respect for whatever reason, do something really cool and go, oh, hell yeah, why can't I do that? And the answer is, well, there may not be a reason why you can't do that, and it might be a good idea. But the other reason might be, well, I'm a single parent of 3 kids under 5 and I can't leave them at home to go and run. So, like everyone has different lifestyle challenges that may make a goal more or less feasible based on that. So make sure that if you are kind of deciding on something, outside the norm that you would like to do, make sure that you can just zoom out and unemotionally basically assess if it's going to fit your lifestyle or not, because too many people jump straight into it and then go, actually, this is not going to work. And I've done that before as well. Like, I was going to do an Ironman and I'm like, this is ridiculous, this isn't going to work.
That is a great example, actually, Ben. We talk about this all the time, and that's why we discuss what we're doing. That's why we discuss the challenges of, you know, Ben's training, my training, when we're doing certain things, and the impact it has on the family as a whole. Because people really do need to understand, it's what we coach all the time with the goal setting. You have to always come back to you. People just pick a person that they like or aspire to, or like you're saying, you know.
Respect for whatever reason, yeah.
But unless you actually understand that person's lifestyle limitations, you know, their dynamic, their goals, it can be quite a damaging thing to set yourself a goal that just is so unrealistic.
Yeah, especially when you're looking for something kind of so grand as a level of accountability. So people often launch into these goals because they think that having something like that, I'm going to train for this, and then a lot of people who we speak to anyway, it has the kind of undertone of, oh, well, if I can run a half marathon, I might also lose a bit of weight. And it's like, well, do you want to run the half marathon or do you want to lose weight?
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly. So often there are some things where it's kind of paired up, but you know, like just being really clear on what it is that you're actually after will mean that you can structure your life in a way to make the goal as uninvasive as possible. And there's absolutely no doubt that too many people choose a physical achievement goal when really their goal is a body composition goal. And it's like, you could save yourself the risk of injury, hours a week, just by changing your nutrition and training for 3 hours a week instead of having to run for 5 hours on a Saturday. Which, guys, let me tell you from experience, drainer.
People want the hype.
Don't want to do it for fun.
People want the hype. They love it.
What do you mean?
We love extremes. Like, oh, did you see blah, 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 I ran a half marathon in...
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares, guys. No one remembers your times.
I remember my time. I was pumped with it.
You remember your time. No one else does.
You don't remember my time?
Does anyone remember Ben's time?
Do you? Here we go. Test. What was my time on the half marathon?
Oh, I don't remember, but it was good. It was good. You're a fast runner and I respect you.
See, guys, if my own fiance doesn't remember the time, it's not that important.
You know, I don't see anyone's times on their tombstone. Do you?
No,
it's not that important.
I'm putting it on there after that. But yeah, no, it is. It's like, it's just little things in the grand scheme of things that we can kind of build up to be big things. And it's just like, I was saying to someone yesterday, actually, I was like, it's not that serious. Like, health and fitness is supposed to be a part of your life. It's supposed to improve your quality of life. It's not supposed to be the life. You know, like, you can't live through that, you know, like, just, I live for parkrun on Saturdays. It might be something that you really enjoy, but like, it's got to be bigger than that. Otherwise, as soon as parkrun gets taken away, now you don't run at all. And it's like, okay, well, that's not the point. The point is consistent movement, and then you can channel energy into different things along the way.
Yeah.
Provided that it fits your lifestyle.
Yeah, can we just come back to, so you did want to do an Ironman and we discussed it.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work.
You decided against it. So the reasons why we decided against it was?
Oh, just time. Like, it wasn't going to work. Time, the cost involved as well, massive. Like, I was just like, this is ridiculous. It was a goal that I had picked based on, I'm starting to feel a little bit stale with training. I need something that's a bit different. So, like, you know, the thought process is okay. The end result was wrong. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this.
So if we look at we assessed our life at that current stage, which isn't, it wasn't that long ago, guys. So we were running a business.
It was like 2021 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was 2022. Yep.
Very, very busy phase of life in terms of young children.
Yeah, Harry wasn't even, he might have just been 1. Mia was under 3. So, yeah, 2 kids in daycare. You were working full-time. I was running the gym. It was all happening.
When we actually sat down and tried to...
tried
to figure it, we're like, oh, that is crazy. We could do it, but we'll all be broken by the end.
Yeah, and it was just sort of the hours as well. So for a goal like that, like when we assessed, okay, can I train twice a day every day? That's because that's basically what it takes. I need to do an AM session and I need to do a PM session. Well, as an example, my AM day starts at 6 a.m. There's no pools that are open at 4. I can't go and swim. Like, it just logistically wasn't going to work. Now, this is an example, obviously, as it related to our life, but you may have the same thing where it's like, I'd love to do a marathon, and it's like, well, I have a dicky Achilles. And it's like, well, okay. So, like, that's clearly going to be a little bit of, a red flag or something you need to work through. But, guys, just take the emotion out of your goal setting and focus on the logistics. Will this work for me and my lifestyle right now? Because I can tell you from experience over the past month, when my Saturday runs have been really long, that's when physically I feel fine. Like, I can get through the training, I can do the hard stuff, that's not a problem. But the only time that I start to feel like any type of stress or as though this isn't worth it is when it starts to impact everyone else in the house. For example, when Mia was sick, we had a personal training sessions, so I pushed back my run, and then I went, and then I wasn't going to be home for basketball, and it was just a bit of a cluster of a day, and I was sick. That was the run that I was sick, and it wasn't going well, and I was just like, is this worth it? Like, is this worth the impact of everyone's having to change and accommodate me doing this, as opposed to just, I'd be perfectly fine and happy if I ran 3 days a week and lifted weights 3 days a week. I feel great. So, yeah. I know that was a bit of a spiel on goals that relate to your lifestyle, but It's just a really important discussion to have before you launch into something like this.
Exactly, because what we see more often than not is people setting unrealistic goals and then beating themselves up because they're failing. They think they're failing.
Yeah, of course. And it's not a question of character.
No.
But maybe I also have the confidence in that based on things I've done in the past. Like, I know that I'm up to it. I know that I'll get through it. But that's also because I've done hard stuff in the past. Whereas if this was new, and then would I maybe have in the back of my mind that it's like, oh, here you go, looking for a way out. And it's like, well, so, I understand it's maybe not that simple for a lot of people, but yeah. It's just more challenging that I'm going to do this. Am I capable of it? You just need to think of everything and make sure that you're not going to feel guilty every time you go for a run.
Yeah.
That's hard.
With your goal setting, guys, always talk about it. It doesn't even need to be a coach. You know, somebody else, a friend, a partner. Just make sure you talk it through. Don't just do it in your own head.
Yeah. I'm a shocker for that.
Yeah. Don't just come up with a really, really cool goal in your head and then verbalize it and then freak out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things where it's like, preferably speak to someone who understands the journey and knows the impact it's going to have, instead of a cheerleader who's going to go, yeah, that's awesome, do it. And it's like, yeah, but what do you know? Absolutely nothing, but it sounds exciting. Like that. That's important. Yeah, someone who you trust.
Definitely.
Anyways, moving on. Long running's hard. Let's move on. School holidays. So we have just had school holidays here in Victoria, and obviously we've got clients now spread across Australia, which is cool for us because we never used to train anyone who was outside of our postcode. So I was like, oh, that's nice. We can say Australia-wide. But the challenge has been, I think, in particular for people who are early in their journey with us, who are still in that implementation phase, because so much of our coaching is geared to low-hanging fruit and things that we can adjust immediately that is going to be consistent in our lifestyle. For example, what are we doing Monday to Friday? Let's always tackle that before we talk about a Saturday lunchtime. The things that over the course of a year, 52 weeks in a year, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of Wednesdays. There's going to be a hell of a lot of Thursdays, Fridays. That's going to be relatively the same with the routine. That's where we always start. Now, school holidays is not like a normal week, clearly. There's probably going to be kids at home at some stage. Maybe you've taken time off. There's a whole bunch of variables that now, from the subconscious routine, are brought into the conscious, and often people are exhausted trying to then make nutrition decisions on top of that. So if that is you, don't worry. It's something that we're going to tackle. in the near future when you're nailing your Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's just one of those things, and I know you use the term a lot, and I'll let you expand on it. Like having it in your toolbox, it's like, what can I do just to pull out to use when? Instead of just being so reliant on one specific way all of the time. And when that way doesn't work, I'm absolutely screwed.
Yeah. That's one thing, we work on from the very first day. Just not being so caught up in perfection. We don't want perfect. Perfect is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is, building that toolbox and then working on optimizing that. So knowing what tool to reach for at certain times, because we don't always need the same tool. And school holidays, when routine is different, we have different requirements and we need to know how to flex them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And this is clients who tend to handle it well, who have been in our program for a longer period of time. They tend to have a little bit more education and confidence in their abilities to execute good nutrition principles, no matter the scenario. Clients who are obviously early in their journey, they don't have the same level of confidence, but we also don't expect the same level of skill. Like, that's totally normal. Like, it is just something. It's like you're on, I use this analogy all the time. It's like you're just halfway through the Philosopher's Stone. Like, don't worry about it. You're just dipping your toe in the Harry Potter world. The rest of our clients at that stage, they might be halfway through the Half-Blood Prince. It's like there is no way to rush your journey, and you will learn when you learn. But next time, take the learning. So what did you struggle with this time? Okay, well, I wasn't as organized, or I didn't have my chance to do my normal prep because of XYZ, or I had to change my training times, or whatever it may be. Lessons that you can take into next time so that you are prepared. It's always just a learning experience. It's never a failure.
If anything, I think most people, when it comes to life, and they let go of that all or nothing, because it is a long enough period of time of, okay, well, I can't let the next 2 weeks slide.
No.
That's a long period of time.
Yeah.
So, what's something little I can focus on and I am in control of without letting the next 2 weeks be, I can eat whatever I want.
Yeah. I wish. That's like, we often see, in our early coaching calls with clients, weeks 1 to 4, it's a lot of us explaining and it's a lot of us talking. And then on the back end of the program, it's a lot of you tell us, like, how'd you go? And they will be able to run through things that they know that we would touch on, or that they executed well, or things that they need to focus on. And that kind of handing the baton over when it comes to knowledge and being able to implement. That's just the difference between our ability to handle school holidays really well in the first month versus our ability to handle them in 10 weeks time. Even I think it's a short term this term apparently, but the next time, it's just, you will get there when you learn. So if you've come out the back of school holidays and you're like, what a whirlwind, that was a disaster. It's not a disaster. Just remember what went well, what needed practice, and we'll set you up for next time. And I don't know, it's just a challenging time regardless.
Yeah. Speaking of, we've just had a few people graduate from our 12-week program. Oh, new name.
Oh, yes. So one thing that we are changing, obviously we've developed this new program, and we offered some beta testers a position at the start of April.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, start of April or late March, which is, 3 months ago-ish. And they have all graduated now, and honestly, they've absolutely smashed it. But one thing we have been umming and ahhing over the past month to 6 weeks is, what are we going to call this thing? Because we can't just call it our program, or we can't just call it our transformation program. So we have decided to name it the Strong Parent Project. And that was a name that resonated with us because strength to everyone means a different thing. So if you think of strength in the gym, then you think of like a progression and constantly improving. But we like to think of that word project as well as that, well, we're always under construction. There's always things that we can look to include or work on in our lifestyle. So the Strong Parent Project is something that we feel hits everything that we're about, whether it be strength in knowledge and education, project and constant improvement, and obviously as, you know, PTs and being very goal orientated and stuff like that. That name really resonated with us. So you will be seeing some changing in branding and changing in stuff that we put out there, linking our 12-week program to be named as the Strong Parent Project. So yeah, we got to work on some merch now. It's a merch going.
Love it.
Yeah, exciting times. But anyway, you interrupted. What were you going to talk about?
Sorry. Oh, the results.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just touch on a few of the results.
Yeah.
So proud of everyone that's gone through. They were all such different journeys. But yeah, do you want to run through maybe a couple?
Yeah, sure. So there are three that kind of spring to mind straight away, because although lots of our clients share similarities in regards to kind of stages of life and, you know, issues that they may be seeing in their lifestyle in regards to their ability to execute nutritionally and fitness wise or not, everyone still does have such unique circumstance, which means that, you know, a generic program just wouldn't simply work for all three of these guys, yet all three of them have got very similar results. So it's like, what it told us was that, okay, the principles of what we're coaching is sound and it's working. It's just that across their 12-week journey, the way that we applied it was so different. So we'll start with Margaret, who has just graduated this week on, how many kgs was it? It was annoyingly shy of 10, wasn't it? It was like, no, wait, was it 8? 7.5, that's right. So it was just under 8, but at the same time, she was one person who I thought, you know what, it would have been good to get her to do a DEXA scan, because she was 4 to 5 weeks in, changed up her training and started doing, 2 to 3 resistance, like full resistance sessions a week, and has completely transformed her physique. But even better than that, like just said to you yesterday, like feel unreal.
And that's the most important thing for us.
Yeah, always.
When people come to us and throughout the entire program, the constant question is, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's the first thing we ask, because if you're seeing results but feel like trash, then it's not working.
That's not a win for us.
No,
that's not a win for you.
No, we'd rather you get slower results but feel really good doing it, because, you know, there's nothing worse than feeling low energy or, you know, like you're constantly stressed or beaten up. So to get that feedback as well as the awesome physical results was really good. But
absolutely. We were talking about Margaret earlier. We've never seen compliance quite to this level.
Yeah, so our training software is able to measure basically how consistent someone is with filling in their tasks and their metrics and everything. And we certainly don't have standards across the board that we expect from our clients in that regard, because stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. So like, you know, if you've got a sick kid at home and you forget to do a food diary, so what? You know, like, we're not going to be like, hey, you know, forget about the flu, you haven't uploaded your meals. Like, this is not really how we work. So, but, you know, in spite of that, and Margaret also had the pretty big lifestyle shift of going back to work as well after mat leave, which is, you know, that's no small thing and a massive adjustment to any household when you have to tackle that. But it was greens across the board, which is highly unusual.
It was incredible.
Yeah, so I think greens is like a compliance and a consistency rate of over 90%.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I have certainly never worked with someone like that before.
Yeah.
Like you said, like life just happens, and yeah, you kind of don't see that too often. But also, Margaret came in at such a good base.
Yeah.
So she started off at a point where I was like, oh, this is going to be challenging for me as a coach. And she's just done so well. And we always say that our clients that get the best results are the ones that can give us the information.
Yeah.
So, you know, being able, our program requires so much collaboration.
Yep.
Yeah, us understanding everything we possibly can about our clients.
Yeah, if you're waiting to be told what to do, then it's like, that's not really how we operate. Like, you need to show us what you're currently doing so that we can suggest things and then work together on things that you're 10 out of 10 confident that you can actually do it and you understand it. Whereas if we just say eat less and move more, it's like, well, what good's that? I already knew that. Yeah. So yeah, I do remember you saying after Margaret's initial food diary, like, whew, like it's already pretty sound. And, you know, she was one of those people who like was so close. It's like, I just need a little bit of like focus and direction on where to make the final little tweaks just to kind of get rolling. And yeah, get rolling she has. It's been quite extraordinary. So congratulations to you, Margaret, and look forward to continuing to work with you long into the future, because your results in the gym are going to like go from strength to strength as well. Like, you know, for someone who's been lifting weights for 2 months, like consistently for 2 months in, you know, in I guess our style, yeah, we're scratching the surface on the physical results, and those park run times are going to come flying down. Be able to catch up with your boy again. The other one we wanted to touch on was Ella, and you may have seen we've posted her progress before, and she was at about week 6 or 7 when we did that, and she's now just finishing up her fat loss phase, I guess you would call it. Like, that season for her is near its end, and it's now more that kind of maintenance and progression in the gym, which is exciting because
we love when that happens.
Yeah, it's the best. And it's what needs to happen, because fat loss for so many people is a goal for so long, and it's such an emotional journey that when you get it done, it's like, oh my goodness, like think about the amount of years that this has been on my mind, or think about the amount of times that I let it impact my actions or my decisions, and to not have to deal with that anymore is like a load off the shoulders. And I will never forget speaking to her on the phone. I actually remember where I was. I was out the front of Williams School waiting to pick him up before basketball. And I'm like, I'm going to go early because I'm going to speak to this lady, Ella, on the phone. Dad's like, oh, yeah, cool. And just how nervous she was at starting, which, you know, I totally get. It's a big financial investment. It's a level of kind of vulnerability that it's like, oh, am I really going to open myself up to be potentially let down again, despite this dude with a red beard telling me that it's all going to be fine? And it's like, it is going to be fine. And her growth over the 12 weeks, and you've been much more hands-on coaching her than me, but seeing her results from afar, I'm just like, part of me feels like a massive level of relief, because I'm like, oh, I'm so glad she started, but I'm also so glad that she got there. That, you know, I knew she would, but you still don't know until you know. That I was just like, yes, like what a I guess a bit of an inspiration for anyone who's kind of just been struggling for a while and they're looking for something to sink their teeth into. Like, yeah, just
without
a huge change.
The biggest takeaway for me from coaching Ella, I remember nearly crying reading her first form, like when people come to us and kind of tell us a bit about themselves. And then speaking to her for the very first time, she's a different person.
Yeah.
Now, like the confidence.
You've said that every week for like the past month.
Goodness.
Is just, yeah. And I know it's like self-confidence is hard to measure. So when you see people like us say, oh, and it'll boost your self-confidence, it's like, well, I don't really have a score for my self-confidence now. It's not like I can judge on I can't jump on a self-confidence scale and be like, oh, I'm 85. But it's like, you know it when you see it.
Oh, like just the way she holds herself, how she dresses, how she speaks, her self-talk. Like, it's giving me shivers now. It's just, yeah, that has been, massive in her journey.
And, you know, I'm big on confidence stemming from action, and just, like, I get confidence from, you know, just doing the things that I say I'm going to do. So it's like, okay, well, I think that with fitness and health, most people come to us and their confidence is on the floor because it's like, well, I've tried this in the past and I haven't been able to follow through. So why would I think that this is going to be any different? And that's a totally rational and logical way to think. But that's why we start everyone kind of nice and steadily and build up from that. So her progression over the 12 weeks, like I think she's was just on 10 kgs down or just shy, or adjust on, and yeah, her progress and her measurements are extraordinary. She's in the gym multiple times a week, lifting weights well as well. Her technique is just her technique's mint. It's all great. We always get really thrilled for people who I guess trust us, trust the process, lean into it and get what they want out of it. Like there's just a level of bravery that comes with stepping into stuff like this, and it's not taken on us. It's not lost on us, I guess, how big of a jump this is for some people. And we are, once you're in, it's like we are desperate for you to get what you want out of it. So yeah, we're just so pumped when people do.
Probably the last one we just want to touch on, and again, I think you've already released some of her results, but Sarah, again, another completely different journey.
Yeah.
But took away so much. Again, over 10 kilos. How amazing. And yeah, just Sarah, my biggest takeaway for her was just being so adaptable, like being able to not get caught in perfection. Okay, what can I do instead? She was massive on the toolbox.
Yeah.
And
I mentioned that multiple times in her feedback. Yeah,
she has a lot of tools in there, and she's very good at now adapting, being flexible, manipulating. That was a really impressive journey to witness.
Yeah, and someone who, when I spoke to her initially, was already putting in a lot of effort, but just needed to kind of focus that effort on one or two key areas that would start to yield some change. And when you kind of lined her up in the right direction and gave her a bit of a nudge, she was off to the races. Yeah. So yeah, those are, I guess, 3 recent graduates who all similar results, but all so different in their journeys and the way they implemented, just practical nutrition science that we coached. Should we wrap it up? We've got to get to school pickup.
I know, we do. We had some questions, but we'll touch on them in our next podcast.
Yeah, for sure, which will be next week. So any questions, always message them through. Keep an eye out for some new branding. Excited to release that stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.